We are back at it with the podcast with Doc, and I think we officially got a name for it. It's going to be called the Bikes Pod with Reaper and Exhiibit. I think that's what we're going to be calling it. If anybody wants to do a logo design, hit me up or hit Doc up because I'm not artistic enough to do that. So, but we got a bunch of topics that we want to discuss. First and foremost, let's get a like for this video or podcast for Reaperdoc. He just put out a brand new track, so you guys better go, better go download that right now. The link will be in the description as well. So definitely do that. Let's try to get, what do you say, 50 likes on this? I think 50 likes is doable.
50 likes is smashable.
Yeah, I think 50 likes would be good. But we got a bunch of topics. We haven't done this in, I feel like almost 2 months. It's almost been like 2 months. We've been very, very busy. Doc was very busy at the beginning of the year with a couple things. You know, he went to A1. He went to San Francisco.
Sir?
That was pretty epic. Okay, so let's do A1 first because San Francisco is a whole other animal. So let's go to A1. How did that go? I know you were like hooked up with Panic Rev. So how did all of that go and everything?
That was crazy. So yeah, so I flew in on Thursday night, 2 days before A1.
Okay.
Then Friday, Panic Rev picked me up and took me to press day, which was crazy. And I didn't like have any credentials, so we had to totally do the like he's with me bro thing.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone was like, at first everyone was like, like I don't know if he can be in there. And then my Panic Rev guy has a lot of connections, and so there was a nice lady that was in an official Supercross shirt, and he walked up to her and was like, hey, he's with me. And then so she was like, yeah, he can come in, whatever he needs. So that was really cool.
That's sick.
Yeah, and then kind of just got to do whatever, and just walked around the pits for a little while with my guy Destin, and then they sponsor one of the satellite teams called Next Level.
Okay.
And it's like a satellite KTM team, and so we basically hung out in their pits most of the time, and just kind of hung out with the riders. They were putting graphics on the bikes and getting things ready. Me and Destin, my Panic Rev guy, put some graphics on pit boards for them. Just kind of chilling, and then we went and watched press day, and that was, I don't know, it's different, you know, like it's
like so different.
Like James Stewart was just like sitting behind me, like right behind us, you know, and like it's so much more chill, you know, and there's so many more, like there were so many just like huge names just walking around. Like obviously, you know, there's really no public, like there's no public there, so it's all like it's a safer place for them just to kind of walk around. But like literally it was like James Stewart's just walking around, Ricky Carmichael's just walking around, you know.
That's crazy.
They're all eating like little chips, and you know, like it was just so weird, you know. And then we're just sitting there watching, and it was really cool. And then they got me hooked up with Shane McElrath, because Shane McElrath is a big part of Panic Rev. He's like a big part of the behind the scenes stuff.
Okay.
So I got to interview him, and Shane is one of my favorite riders of all time. Just we share a lot of the same beliefs, and just really, really cool guy. But then to meet him, he was like so much cooler than I thought he was gonna be. Like, I don't know if you've ever interacted with, like, you know, when you interact with like a famous person, sometimes they can be almost like really like introverted, and like they get so much attention that they're kind of like, they don't really want to talk, or like, hey, let's just get, you know, whatever we need to do, let's just do it, and then let me move on with my day. And Shane was not like that at all. We sat there and talked about bikes and computers, and like after the interview, and just kind of yapped about life. It was really, really cool. Like he's totally just down to earth and like a normal human being, which obviously they all are, but some of them don't act like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty freaking sick. I mean, I haven't personally I wouldn't say personally spoken to too many celebrities, you know.
Yeah, I guess me neither.
So I don't really know like too much, but I'm happy that he was like down to earth, just like willing to have a conversation, because that probably means more like than anything than having someone just be like, all right, I gotta go, you know.
Yeah, he was really conscious of like, you know, that I was there for something and was interested and was like, so, you know, after we did the interview, he was like, so like, what was the interview for? Like, what do you do? And I started talking about, I play a dirt bike video game. And he was like, what, first of all, it was really cool. He was like, oh, are you that guy that plays like MX bikes, you know? And like knew he had watched some of the videos. So that was a cool moment. But also just like took the time to ask questions and, you know, dig a little bit deeper into my little MX bikes life, you know, when I'm sure he had a billion things he could have been doing, but it just didn't feel rushed. It didn't feel like, all right, interview's done. Okay, let me go, you know?
You
And that
know,
was really, that was cool.
it's actually super cool to hear that like obviously I feel like bikes obviously is blowing up, right? In that essence, it's like a lot of people know about it nowadays, especially with social media and stuff like that. But it's
Yeah.
cool to see that Shane knows what MX bike is and like knows of people that plays the game, right? I feel like
Yeah.
Shane is a little bit older. He's probably around our age, honestly.
Yeah, he's 29. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's right there with us, and like just for him to even like think about like, oh yeah, I know that video game, I see it all the time. It's pretty
Yeah.
freaking sick. So means we're doing something
Yeah.
right in the bikes community. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was actually very pleasantly surprised how many people um recognized me at A1 and San Fran, and like not even just like random, like I say randoms, but I just mean like not even people that like play the game, but like there was a few like mechanics as I was walking through the pits on press day that was like, hey, is that Reaperdoc? And I was like, wait, what? Like
That's
just like
crazy.
random bike mechanics, you know, and then like I don't know, it was like, wow, like I think this is a lot bigger than any of us really realize, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's honestly so cool to see where bikes was like couple years ago to where it is now. I mean, you're getting recognized for playing a video game. Like I know other people do and other big namers get, but like you're playing MX bikes, you know, like you don't expect to be recognized like that. You just expect to be like another person in the crowd. You know what I mean? So that's pretty
It
freaking
was
sick.
it was pretty eye-opening, like of how, you know, it was just really encouraging. My dad was with me. So my dad flew in Friday night, like after press day. I picked my dad up. He lives in NorCal, but he flew down just, I booked him a hotel and got him tickets, and so we just went to A1 together because he had never been. And so he's always been, you know, like my parents are supportive of like what I do,
Hmm.
but also like I'm playing a video game. You know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
I get it. I get it.
You know what I mean?
No,
And
I
like,
get it.
you know, no matter how successful I, you know, show them how many stats I can prove that like, yo, like we're doing it, you know, like we're
Yeah.
still just playing a video game. And it was really cool to see like my dad kind of get locked in on bikes. And the day we got to when we went to A1, we were the first people there. I mean, like literally like the first people there. We got there so early because my dad wanted to do the whole thing, practice and everything. We were there at like we were there like 8:30 in the morning.
Holy,
And
I don't think I've ever been to Supercross that early in my
no,
life.
no, we were there for like 12 hours. And
Sheesh.
and so we got up to the front gate and there was literally like nobody there. And so we're standing there, and you know, my dad's all soaking up A1 or whatever. And then the first person that walks around the corner, the dude like literally runs up to us and is like, dude, is that Reaperdoc? And
That's
like
crazy.
and like asked for a picture. And my dad was like completely shook after that. Was just like, whoa, like
Like an eye-opening
wait,
moment, you know?
yeah, he was like, wait, you know. And so now he's always texting me, you know, like how the race is going, you know, like how are your video, like I was like, it was just cool to see him kind of realize that, you know, I mean, I've been grinding my butt off for a few years now, and that to see him kind of see the fruit of that was cooler than the picture itself, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's so sick.
But the races, I guess, were honestly the races were kind of mid. A1 was really not that good.
I mean, didn't if I'm thinking correctly, Jet pulled whole shot, dominated.
Yes.
Jason was in second the entire race. Cooper was in third until he crashed.
Yep.
I don't remember anything else, to be honest.
The heats were pretty good. Like, I mean, and again, it's A1, so like we had a blast. The vibes were super high because it's A1. So like, if that was any other like mid-season round though, I think we would have been like, well, that was boring, you know. But it was A1.
Detroit.
Yeah, facts, exactly.
So,
but I mean,
well, not Detroit. Excuse me. The one after Detroit, Glendale. Sorry.
Glendale, yeah.
Glendale's pretty snooze fest.
Yeah. But it was cool, you know. I mean, A1 is always. This is my second time going, and it is just it's just a different vibe. Like,
yeah, I think I personally have never been to A1. I've been to obviously like Phoenix. I've been to Las Vegas. And then
that was sick.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Like they were racing 125s back then. but no, like just A1, I feel like everybody's excited. All the pros are there. Nobody's hurt. You know what I mean? So it's like, it gets you excited. And then you get to Glendale. It's like, well, Tomac just faded. So what happened here? You know? But
yeah, everyone believes they can win. All the industry's there. It was sold out. You know, like it's just so much more hype.
And then so I won't get like, obviously, because you stayed in California, went up to San Francisco area, right? And then you went to San Fran Supercross. Now, were you expecting the downpour that it was, or were you expecting it to like ease up? Because from practice, it was horrible. So, also, did you leave early?
No.
You stayed
we grinded out.
Bro, that's crazy.
So, us being from, like, we're from NorCal, right? So that's like, my parents grew up in San Francisco, and you know, when we looked at the weather, like, we knew like, oh, okay, it's gonna be not enjoyable. But my dad really wanted to go. I almost didn't go. I was so tired. Like you said, I had been away for like almost 10 days from my family, and like I was so busy while I was there, and I was exhausted, and I was like, dude, like I don't really want to go to a Supercross race, sit in the rain all night, and then get on a plane first thing in the morning. Like I just didn't want to do it. But then I was like, all right, let's just go. And it really wasn't bad because the tickets we had were all covered.
Okay, that's good.
So that was huge. It really would not have been bad, except the parking was like a mile and a half away from the stadium, and like that was like close parking for us because that stadium's like in the city.
And wasn't like the pits were like right next to don't quote me, but it was like right next to a harbor, right? Like inside like a little like tent. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
The pits were on a pier.
Okay,
and it took, I think it was at over a half mile each way from the pits to like the stadium. So
that's crazy.
Obviously it's not covered, and so it really wouldn't have been bad, but we got there at A1. I took my backpack in because I had like vlog equipment and hoodies and like just extra random stuff, little snacks and stuff. A1, it was fine. So we go to San Francisco. I walked the mile, like our parking was like a mile, it was like 1.6 or something from the stadium. So we walk like 2 miles in the rain. Sheesh. I get to the stadium, and they're like, no backpacks. And they didn't have anywhere for us to like put it, so I let my dad go in, and then I walked the 2 miles back in the rain, and then the 2 miles back. So by the time I got into the stadium, I was literally like
already dying.
Yeah, I was
6 miles
like
deep.
I was like dripping, everywhere. So, that was kind of chalked. And then we went to the pits, and the line was like long to get into the pits. So then we're just standing in the rain. And then
we had already been. You guys brought an umbrella?
Oh no, we didn't do that.
Oh my god. That was
We
the
were
first
just
thing I would have
vibing.
brought, bro. I'm going there. It was raining outside my house the other day. I pulled out an umbrella, like
I don't know that I've ever used an umbrella, like I've held one for my wife, but that's pretty much it.
sheesh.
Like
Yeah,
I don't even know that I have one. But we got into the stadium already. Like we'd already found our seats, and then we were like, all right, well, let's go to the pits. Maybe the line is a little bit less gnarly. So we went out to the pits, and then we did the whole pit thing or whatever. And then when we came back, they had closed the stadium. And by this time, like they were making everyone stand in line, and there was only like one gate letting people in, and the line was like wrapped around the stadium.
why'd they close
And
it?
well, I think they like closed the entry points other than one until like a certain time, and then they opened them all again. Like I don't
That's weird.
like I don't know. It was very odd, but all of a
But-
sudden,
I mean, like
Go ahead.
Glendale kind of does that too, low key. At the like during like the open or like during the day, not the night show, but
Yeah.
during the day, it's like one entrance to get to the pits, one entrance to get back in. So it kind of makes sense.
I think yeah, the difference was like at A1, the pits were like somewhat attached to the stadium. So once you were in, you could access the pits through the stadium. Like they had like a separate gate, but once you were in the stadium, you didn't have to like leave. And at San Francisco, you had to leave the stadium, and so you had to
Okay.
basically, yeah, you had to like re-entry back in. But since we spent an hour and a half or 2 hours in the stadium, well, then that's when everybody got there, and the line was wrapped around the building. So then we were just standing. We literally stood in line after already being in for like 2 more hours.
Damn, dude.
Ugh. But that was
Uh,
kind of chalked.
And you stayed the entire race all through the. I mean, the mud race was. It was kind of mid, but also exciting because anything could happen, But
It was so good.
yeah, but like how? So like I heard rumors that the stadium was like empty, like during like the say the night races or whatever. Is that?
It really no. I honestly like we kept saying like we were really surprised at how. I mean, obviously there was less people. Like
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell that people didn't come or left early or whatever. But it was. I have seen like Oakland Supercross with less people than that during the day.
Okay, yeah. Oakland's kind of sketch.
Yeah, that. Yeah, like I have seen Oakland Soupy with less people than we're at San Francisco in a dry race. Like, yeah. So I was pleasantly surprised by how many people were there.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, I couldn't believe. I think some people even are like, I can't even believe we raced this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no lightning, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, I don't see why you wouldn't race it. But I mean, overall, did you enjoy sitting in the rain, standing in the? I mean, you didn't sit in the rain, but did you
Yeah.
enjoy going to the race like atmosphere like that, where it's like raining and stuff, or would you much rather just watch it at home?
I mean, I feel like Supercross is amazing, so I love it, and I was cold and I was tired, but I mean, I don't know how many more Supercrosses I'll be able to go to in my life, so just trying
Yeah.
to enjoy it, and I mean, certainly I probably wouldn't have hated it from home either.
Yeah, no.
But it was cool. It's a good experience. I got to meet a lot of friends there that I like people I had interacted with through years from playing bikes that I got to link up with there. People from my team, like just that really made it all worth it. Interacting with people from the community more than the race itself. But the racing was far more entertaining than A1.
Yeah. That's like, for me, like I could have gone to Glendale last weekend. I was like, watch party from my
Yeah.
own house.
Yeah.
Don't have to drive. Don't have to stand around in a crowd. I mean, it was like
Yeah, I feel
there's
that.
like options, I went last year and stuff like that. So like I've been to a bunch of Supercrosses, so I'm not like I need to go. Like, and the
Yeah.
race was mid. So I'm kind of glad.
Yeah, the
like
race was pretty mid.
I'm glad I kind of stayed home, and I also last year they had like the roof wasn't open, so like all the fumes and everything, my eyes were
Oh,
so
yeah.
bloodshot that it looked like I was just high for 3 days. So Yeah, so that wasn't probably not fun either. But no, I'm glad that the trip itself was good. You got to hang out with family. You went to 2 Supercross races.
Yeah.
You got to meet a bunch of people. You got to interact with a bunch of fans. So I'm happy that everything worked out like how you wanted it
really
to.
cool.
So
Yeah, it was a cool thing. I think we're gonna try to make it like a yearly thing. My dad's locked in now, and he wants to do it. And I think Lynn's is coming down for A1 next year, and Charlie.
okay.
So I definitely got to make sure I hit that. That would be.
Well, shoot, I gotta get my A1 tickets.
I'm thinking, dude, like, I don't know how to go about this, but I would love to do like an MX Bikes box. Like, have a bunch of us pitch in and get a box would be fire.
I mean,
and I don't
I would
really
do
know
it.
how. Yeah, I mean, like, if we had, a few of us just do it, I'm sure it can't be that expensive, where if we had 10 people pitch in, it can't be that bad.
I bet you it's like, I would roughly say, I would say 5K probably, something like that.
Right.
So.
Right, which is crazy unless you got a bunch of people doing it, and then, I mean, I feel like it would be sick.
I think it would be sick too, to be honest. So let's mark that down. Let's get that going.
The MX Bikes box.
Yep. But okay, switching gears a little bit. I'm happy that your trip and everything worked out, but switching gears a little bit. How are you liking the Supercross? So let's talk about bikes now. It is a bikes podcast, but how are you liking? I would say let's start off with Supercross tracks because we haven't really had any MXGPs yet. So how are you liking the Supercross tracks? How Stone's building them from A1, where there was no roughness at all, to some of his most recent ones where I feel like he's kind of worked the roughness to, like, I think to a good point compared. Like San Francisco was a little bit more rough than, say, I would say even Detroit,
Yeah, 100%.
And then like San Diego, I already know that he built it in a way for it to replicate like that mud race, so that unfortunately we didn't even race it, so it didn't really turn out.
Clear pro track, baby.
Yeah, so like, how are you liking it from where you started to where it is now?
All right. So San Fran and A1 came out while I was gone, and I was on a laptop and I was playing A1 and I was vibing, and then on my way home I was on a laptop in the airport and I was playing San Francisco. And at first, dude, I had a whole message written up to Stoney, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, like, come on, I love you, but like, pull it together, man, like. And I literally had a message wrote, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna chill, and I'm just gonna, like, I was looking at what everybody else was saying, and like, it seemed like people kind of had a similar, like, what is happening? Oh wait, this is actually kind of sick. And so I was like, all right, well, let me get home on my setup where I'm comfy, like my normal stuff, and then I'll grind it for a little bit, and then I'll see. And I gotta say, I think San Francisco on a 450 might be like one of my favorite Supercross tracks of all time.
Okay.
On a 250, okay, it's a different story, but
no, I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
On a 450, that track is so fun. Then what was after?
It was
then we had
San Diego. Was it?
Oh yeah, yes. Okay, San Diego, the glazed donut track. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one. I'm not a fan. That's a
one thing
we can skip that one.
One thing I didn't like necessarily enjoy as much on San Fran, and I think he did a better job. He's doing a better job now. Is like the inside ruts. Is like it felt too tiny sometimes, and so it was hard. I would say it was harder to get into those and like hit it consistently. I think he's definitely worked on that a little bit from just like the recent ones. There's one though, like A2, finish line, inside line. I don't. No disrespect. Why is the rut already like created on the outside of the corner? You know what I mean by that?
Oh,
Instead of having like the rut like almost right where you land to hit it around the corner.
Yeah, I see.
But like that was honestly that's my only complaint on that whole entire track. I think A2 is actually pretty freaking good. But like
that track parks. So.
Yeah, that was like the only thing I can notice. And obviously we had Detroit, which you didn't really have like that type of corner in Detroit. So, but I think he's doing a much better job of where it started. to where it is. And
Yeah.
I personally enjoy the roughness. I think it adds a different dynamic, a different style of play compared to like all flat, it's just wide open. You have to be, I would say, more methodical with it. And you have to hit the lines almost precisely every single time. Otherwise, like, you're clipping, you're not hitting the rhythms correctly. So I think he's doing a much better job. I was excited to play Glendale. That's my hometown track.
Yeah, facts.
You know, like I was excited to hit that long rhythm section. Like there's so many.
It looks so good.
Yeah, there's so many different options that you can do there, especially in bikes. I'm sad that we won't get it for a while. But I am excited to play that one. I think Arlington's next week, so I don't know what that one's gonna look like yet. But I do think he's doing a much better job compared to where it started.
Yeah, I really, really like him, to be honest. Like, I think Detroit is terrible, but I don't think it has anything to do with Stone Rider. Like, I think, you know, like he did fine, you know, and I have no complaints with him. But like, whoever the AMA designed that track is just an odd little duck.
Bro, I do not like it. It's not even Stone. I don't like it in Sim either. That first section.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate the on off there, dude. It is so difficult to hit it with so much speed because then like one time you're hitting it and you're over jumping in and you're facing into the triple like the triple, or the next time you're clipping the on off and then your front end dies and then you're over the bars.
It's just it's a weird one, but I think A2 is really good. A2 on the 250 is really, really fun. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the Supercross season. I mean, I feel like I really started to gel with the 252 and kind of was feeling it, even though my P10 didn't really show that, but whatever.
I mean, you made the main. So
Dude, I got robbed, man. I'm so sad. Like, I'm so sad because it just fueled the fire of all the doubters, you know? I'm so upset.
Yeah.
I was doing so good that day, but anyway.
Hey, you got a long season. 10th is only beginning. You got a long. I mean, how many races? 6, 7? I think 7, 6.
I think it's 8.
8. You got a long season. I mean, I haven't qualified once, so we still kicking it.
I was feeling good, man. I was like qualified 3rd or something. That's crazy for me. Like, I'm not really a qualifying guy, and anyway.
I think I've been working. I've been grinding. I've been trying to increase. I wouldn't say necessarily speed, but just technique. Especially like scrubbing. That's gonna help me a lot. Obviously, I made a bunch of videos on it and stuff, but I need to qualify, man. I'm pissed that I can't qualify. And I feel like I put a burner down and then I'm like 3 seconds off. I'm like, huh? Like, what? Where's this speed coming from? But we got Arlington coming up. I'm gonna grind. I played last night. You mentioned something about the 250 to me yesterday. I was like, all right, let me test this out. Yeah, I beat my lap time. So so we're gonna be grinding. Hopefully we can put down a qualifying time for Arlington and make it. I would love to do like with you EU. I would really love to do EU. Unfortunately, I have work during the Fridays.
Sure.
But I think it would be fun to do EU with you. And then
what about Monday? Are you able to do MXGP?
I'll do NA MXGP, but it kind of depends. Like if I have a holiday, right? I'll probably do it because most of the time holidays are Monday or Fridays per se.
Sure.
But I don't know. I honestly would love to do EU versions because as a content creator, it would be so much better to do EU during the day and then you can grind your video and edit everything and then get ready for the night and stuff like that. But but yeah, it's unfortunate I got work. But hey, it's all good. Just got to grind my butt off in 2-3 hours and then we'll be kicking it. But all right, I think probably the most important conversation that ever is going to be had, probably not, but DDoSing. Okay, it all started. What was the first race that did this? It was it San Diego or was it even San Fran?
Yeah, it was San Diego because I didn't qual in 450 and I was like, oh no, the race got canceled.
Oh yeah, okay, so San Diego, first time this is like on like the aerial servers, right? So like a little bit different to what has happened in the past past week, but San Diego first DDoS attack, and I'm actually pissed because I actually did qualify, you know. So I was pissed. But it is what it is. I played Call of Duty afterwards, so it was fine. But Okay, I don't know any specifics. I don't know, like, I haven't really reached out to anybody. I was hoping that you would have some more insight on this. But like from my POV, like, one, who in the world is even DDoSing MX bikes, bro? Like, this game is not that big. You don't need to do that, okay? And two is like, what's the motive? Like, why? Like, I don't understand why anybody would do this. I get for like the aerial side, it's a little bit different because it was, from my understanding, it was just spamming the refresh on like the website. So like a lot of people were just spamming it. So I kind of get that side, but like the main servers, like who? Like, I don't even understand. Like,
How?
Like how? Like, who's even doing this? Like, yeah. So I'm hoping that you have more insight on this. I think I almost said a curse word. I think it's stupid. Like, I think it's really stupid that anybody would do this. From your POV, thoughts, just ring them out.
I don't really. I know. I believe that they know, like the like people
team
in the back end, Poboso and Nico and all those guys. I believe they know who did it, or like have a very solid suspicion. I don't, and man, like, I don't know. I mean, the only word that comes to mind is just cringe. Like, I just don't understand why. Because, okay, so I do know that this attack on the servers was a pretty substantial attack. Like, it wasn't
on the main servers.
On the main servers, right? It seems like it was something that took a lot of investment. Whether if they knew how to write their own scripts. Now, listen, I don't really know anything about DDoSing anything, but from my gathering of info from people that do know how to do it, and it was either a hefty time investment on their end or a hefty, like a significant financial investment. Like if they did it themselves, like they took a lot of time to put that amount of stuff together, or they had to spend like a lot of money. So it seems like it probably wasn't just like a random that got, clown face emoji banned from MXG, from Ariel or something. Like, it seems like the person behind it had some sort of either knowledge and resources or financial resources, which
it just makes no sense.
It does not make any sense.
Like, okay, like the aerial version, I get it. Like people are like eager, like, okay, whatever. Main servers, like, bro, everybody plays this game. Even casuals that don't even know anything about like aerial play this game, and then like you're taking it away from like that aspect.
I've heard like none of these theories really make sense to me, so like this isn't my accusation of any of these people. I've heard it was maybe like sim people, like salty sim people, but that doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
I don't know why they would do that.
Like, they're not really benefiting from it that much. Like, all right, a few of you guys switched for like a week and played some sim videos, but like most of you have already done that before.
We played 3 days. I played 3 days, haven't touched it since. I'm not even gonna cap.
Like I saw Troy make a couple videos, but like it probably wasn't, like, it probably didn't do anything. I've heard
like for me, I don't think anybody on bikes is gonna switch to sim that quick. No. like in that aspect of like, okay, the servers are down, I'm gonna go full pro in sim. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's gonna do that. They're just gonna wait a week and wait for the servers because they know it's gonna come back up. So like, I don't know. And also it's like an off week, so it's like, how does it really benefit? Like, if it is sim play, like, how would it benefit sim? You know what I'm saying? It's an off week. They're not even racing this week. So like.
That theory doesn't.
Yeah, that theory doesn't really do too much, but then again, that is why it's a theory. We never know, right?
Yeah. And I've heard it's some of the other unhappy parties, and those theories don't really. I don't know. They don't really make sense either, to be honest. Like,
if you are watching this, someone who did the attack, I mean, comment. Like, why did you do it? Like. Here's a free space for you to comment on why you did it.
You also smell bad.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say we won't judge you, but we already just judge you. So
you also smell bad.
But comment, like, why did you even do this in the first place? Like, like as Doc said, you didn't do it because you got clown emoji banned. Like you're not like I feel like that's from getting banned to going DDoSing the whole entire. That's like a huge stretch. But yeah, just for me, like it made no sense. It was kind of unfortunate, like because we've been grinding like videos too. So it's like we've been grinding the racing videos, which has been really good, and like racing has been really fun with the state of bikes and like.
Agreed.
Having a whole week off, I was like, bro, what do we do? I saw a bunch of comments in the Discord. They're like, what do we do? We don't know what to do. I was like, bro, I'm right there with you. I don't know what to do. Like, I haven't done a talking video in like 3 weeks. And I was like, I don't even know how to do this. But, yeah, like, I mean, I just don't know. I don't understand.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of enjoyed it for a little bit. Like, it was a little bit of a break for me. You know, like, I kind of took it as an opportunity to be like, all right, well, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and like grind testing videos, and so I just kind of took the hit on the views and the content stuff, and just I did a couple short form things. I think I put out 1 or 2 long forms, but I really just took the time to like I've been really tired, and so I just took the time to just rest and hang out with my family. And like I knew that as soon as they came back that it was just gonna be grind time again, so I was like, well, I guess I'll just look at it like a blessing, just take a few days and just...
I mean, it was also Valentine's Day for you.
So, yeah, it was also Valentine's Day.
I'm single over here, everybody, so... so...
My son wanted to do a bunch of stuff for my wife and my daughter, so me and him kind of did a bunch of, crafts for the girls and got them flowers, and...
That's awesome.
Me and him, yeah, we got to do some stuff. So that was cool. I don't think I would have been able to do that if I was grinding for, the whole time, but...
Yeah, I mean, it was a good little, I wouldn't say mental reset, but like a mental reset, like, like kind of just a physical and mental reset. Even though I post every single day, it's like same for me. Like I don't have race. Okay, so what? It's like almost like I had to train my mind again. Like, okay, what do I got to do? But yeah, overall, kind of a blessing in disguise, but also like, what the hell are we doing? Yeah, like I'm really glad it's back. Last 2 days have been hella fun doing MXGP, like testing, racing. We've been doing a lot of that. I feel like everybody kind of has. I feel like everybody's kind of in that mood for outdoors after 5 straight weeks of Supercross. So it's like, I mean, like I think every stream this week was on MXGP tracks. I'm pretty sure every stream, legit every stream. So it's been fun. Like the racing's been great too. One thing I will notice. Okay, so. We're ending the DDoS talk, but seriously, if you did this, comment down below why, because I want to understand your thought process on that. Yeah, I don't understand. But anyways, we're going to GPs now, and I'm excited because I watched the trailer for MXGPs, and I'm excited to see what it looks like. Big shout out to JV and Hell Machine. They're killing it. But I'm also excited to see the spacing and like the width. Because after doing a week straight of MXGPs on these new OEMs, the tracks were built definitely for the old OEMs. Because these are super skinny, and everything is clearable in first gear. And that's not a doc on anything. That's just facts. But it's great because it's like you almost have to ride differently on these GPs, right? So it's like but I wonder how it's going to. Not transition, but I wonder how it's going to be different this coming year with these new OEMs. Like, is the width going to be different? Like, is the spacing for jumps going to be different? It's kind of similar to Supercross from last year to this year. The spacing's been a little bit different. So I wonder how that's going to work. Obviously, just watching the trailer, I mean, holy crap, dude! Like, dude, it's so good. Like, I was like pausing it. I was like pausing every single second. I'm like, okay, what track's this? I gotta go look this up. Like, I want to see the layout, Hell Machine JV are gonna kill it. I said that in, I think, my recent video with Hell Machine's new track, Steckenberg. I think that's how you pronounce that. That I don't even know how you pronounce that, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither. That track's crazy. It's so fun.
But okay, but your thoughts on GP after playing for a week straight? Well, I guess not necessarily a week straight, but after playing for a while and watching the trailer. How do you think these GPs are going to stack up to any other tracks that we've had for the last couple of years?
So I hit up JV and asked him because I feel like nobody's playing San Bernardino, and I don't really understand why. I mean, there's a few people playing it, but like I'm surprised that we're seeing mostly MXGP tracks
Mm-hmm.
on, in rotation and not San Bernardino. I asked JV, is San Bernardino going to be how you build your tracks, like your MXGP tracks? And he said, basically, yeah. And then I said, this rough? And he said, pretty much. It depends on the track, some less, some more. Which some more is absolutely
Some
terrifying.
more? Bro, I could barely make it on Glen Helen,
I
bro.
was like, oh my god. Okay, well,
I don't think I've ever done a full race without crashing 10 times, dude.
so I'm really excited for that. Like, if this is how, if this is how I'm playing it literally as we speak too. If this is how the MXGP tracks are, like, I'm so stoked to that roughness. I think is gonna create like there. Bikes is in like the most competitive state it's ever been, like by far. I would say there's so many fast dudes, like so many fast dudes, and people are new that are going insanely fast that we've never heard of. And if you go back and you look at like the current MXGP tracks that you're like, that we're talking about 2023, and you ride them on these new bikes, like they're not difficult at all. But I remember when they came out, they were super, super, like some of those tracks were like, holy cow, this is the roughest track we've ever seen, And now on these new bikes, they're
Easy.
really, really easy. So easy, It's basically just like right trigger simulator on a lot of them, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you're just wide open everywhere. And it wasn't like that. So I'm really excited to see, and there's a lot of people going fast on those tracks, but I think if he builds all the MXGPs, first of all, as visually good looking as San Bernardino is, and then as rough and the scaling and everything like San Bernardino, like, oh my gosh, man, this is gonna be so sick. I think it'll level the playing field a bit too. Um, well, I think the people that are at the top, the Brados, the Finns, Casanovas, those guys are just going to excel. But a lot of the guys that are kind of, I don't want to say random because that seems disrespectful, but like a lot of the guys that can go fast on the current stuff will probably struggle on this because it's just so different. But
Yeah. San Bernardino is another animal.
yeah,
If for me, obviously I've done testing on San Bernardino, and like just finding a different bike that I would like to ride, and just knowing that it potentially has the same roughness for the other tracks. Like, I'm gonna be grinding the crap out of those, like,
yeah,
as
this
well
is
as a
what you need to be on.
preseason. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
as well as a preseason track coming up. But like, um, it's kind of crazy to see how different like San Bernardino is compared to the other GPs. And like you were saying, like, it's just a right trigger simulator, which
yep,
it kind of is. And I think the reason why is because the physics from last year were just bad, and
yeah.
this year, like, you can hit everything perfectly fine. So it's like,
It's
it's way different. It's like you said, more competitive, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see who. I think the same guys that we know are going to be the same guys going to be in the top 20, top 25.
100%,
You know what I mean?
100%.
And it's going to be, okay, we're all grinding MXGPs, trying to get familiar with outdoor tracks because they're very going to be somewhat similar, right? But
Mm,
I think people that we know that are the best are going to be still the best. And
yeah,
it's just
100%.
going to be that 15 guys from 25, 26 to 40. Like, okay, how are they going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which hopefully I could be in that top 40.
Honestly, I think that's probably, this is a little bit of a side tangent trail here, but like this is probably one of my biggest complaints with the game is how much the physics change when the bikes update. Because it like makes some tracks irrelevant, and then the track builders, don't really know how to like dial it in. And I feel like, with the OEM team, they're getting to a point where the bikes will be more consistent moving forward. Like, the next update won't feel so drastically different. And I think the more consistency we can get in how like the bikes feel, the longer we can get that, I really think the better tracks we will get, because people will understand like limitations a lot better and be able to like kind of fine tune track building for the bikes themselves. I know like Mouse was talking about how Mouse Motopark,
Hmm.
he never intended it to be that fast, but then these OEMs dropped and they can just handle bumps like crazy. And so now you literally don't have to let off going around that track.
Yeah.
And it was intended to be like a technical, difficult, and
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
literally just like you're literally wide open the whole time. But I think like hopefully as maybe hopefully the bikes continue to be somewhat consistent and suspension stays similar, and then the track traders will be able to do a lot more. I think it'll be a lot better.
I honestly feel like they can fine-tune the suspension. I don't know if they, for me personally, I don't know if they like should change up physics from here on out. Like,
yeah,
maybe when like the bike suspensions, they're gonna have to fine-tune a little bit. But like, as it states right here, right now, I think the physics are in the best state that it's been since like beta 16. You know what I mean? And
oh yeah,
I think
absolutely, if
they can continue on this path like you're mentioning, we're gonna have better tracks. We're gonna have better setups where the tracks are gonna be more technical, and you're gonna have to find that fine line of like, okay, I can go fast here, but I actually have to use this section, like I have to like jump through it instead of just railing it,
right.
So I think it's going to be interesting for next year. Like, are they going to change the physics?
Yeah.
Are they not going to change the physics? Hopefully they don't. So if you're listening to this OEM team, don't change the physics. But yeah, that's just what I'm thinking too. Because like you're saying, sometimes the tracks, even though it's like super rough, I wouldn't say San Bernardino per se, but like the roughness on the old GP tracks is just hard. Like we've been saying, right? Trigger simulator,
Right, but and then like San Bernardino I don't think you could have rode this track on like beta 17 bikes.
I don't think so either, man. I would die. I like I would go around a corner and die like every time.
I don't think like some of these G outs, at the bottom of these jumps with the braking bumps in them and then the hills, like I honestly don't think you would have been able to make it around this track on old bikes. That'd be actually really interesting. I'd be interested to try that. I think I have the old bikes.
Video idea right there, right now.
Yeah,
be on the lookout. But no, yeah, I think so. If you guys are listening to in this point of the video, grind San Bernardino in preseason, because it's going to be similar to what you guys are going to see for round 1 and the rest of the tracks. There's round 1 the next week after preseason, I'm assuming.
I have no idea.
I forgot already. But yeah, no, like GP tracks, I'm excited. Honestly, we've been grinding, we've been practicing, and
yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Like, yeah, like you're doing 250s. I'm gonna try to do 450s. I feel like 450s outdoors, my style compared to 250s outdoors. I'm not that good on 250s outdoors. I can do 250s supercross, but like outdoors, I'm literally like horrible at it. So, but we'll stick to the 450s on that. I'm excited for that. By the time you guys are watching this, GP's this coming Monday, preseason one. I'm assuming, Doc, you're gonna be streaming the EU. I'm assuming.
I'm probably gonna record EU, stream NA.
Okay. Are you gonna? Okay, so you're gonna race NA.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna race both because it's not region lock.
Okay. So you're gonna race. So record EU race. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I'll probably record EU and then I'll race NA and stream NA.
Yeah. Do you know? I don't even know the times of that. We'll figure it out later.
No idea.
I don't even have a clue, to be honest. But yeah, we're excited for GPs nonetheless. We said this in the last pod too, like so many things coming out. Supercross tracks were supposed to be weekly. You know what I mean? But with the DDoS a little bit. But Supercross tracks, MXGPs, you got outdoors coming up here soon. You got super motocross tracks later on. Dude, literally we have an insane amount of content coming out here soon. It's insane. And that kind of leads into our last topic of the video or the podcast, which is Reaperdoc Ranch, RD Ranch. Track is dropping in 1 hour while we're recording this, which is an absolute W. I got to play it a little bit yesterday, and honestly, one of my new favorite tracks. I know I'm just a friend and I'm saying this, but it's actually a legit, I think, going to be one of the most played tracks you'll ever see in MX bikes. That's legit my title, so don't steal that. Anybody changing their titles? But
changing my title real quick.
But no, I seriously do. Like it has that, like, I know it's from King MX 818, so like it has that countryside feel to it where it's nice and flowy. It has a technical aspect to it. I even said this in my video. Is that double a high point double? Like, that's the inspiration, right? It has to be.
I honestly don't know. I have very little input on that track. I just let him cook.
Okay,
And
because like that's the
so
vibe that I got. I even said that first thing I said after I hit it. I was like, "That's from the Pro Motocross Track High Point." I'm like, "That's the vibe that I got," you know.
it could be, you know.
But honestly, like playing it, I do think it's gonna be the one of the most played tracks like in bikes. It's definitely beginner friendly. It's not overly rough. There's only like a few rough spots, so that's good
Yeah.
for beginners. The pro side of things, it can be fast. There's different lines that you can try, which is really cool. And like I said, I think it's gonna be a good beginner track. Honestly, I think it's just gonna be a good pub track. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just streaming. You want to have fun. You don't want to sweat. We'll go play RD Ranch. You know, similar to Countryside or similar to forgot the other one that's out with Countryside off the top of my head, but
Moto Park.
yeah, something like that. I think honestly, it's gonna be really fun. Like, I had questions for this, and I'm going off topic here, but okay, what was your inspiration of doing tracks? And then second, do you plan on doing like a series with these tracks? Like, what is your thought process on that? What are the answers?
Right. So, no series. Well, maybe, but no intention of doing series.
Okay.
Maybe down the road. And the inspiration from tracks really, I've wanted to try. I mean, it all for me. Everything comes down to brand for me and content. And I'm really focused on building a business and expanding that business. And as ridiculous as it sounds, even to me, and like building a brand out of MX bikes, it's possible, and we're doing it. And so I was really just trying to think of like, all right, when I'm looking for sponsorships and when I'm looking for, partnerships or whatever, people, big brands to try to get on board, like what can I offer them something of value that's different than the average creator? And, how can I create additional revenue streams for me? How can I employ people? Like a big passion of mine is like I've always been in leadership in business, and I really enjoy like creating a place of work where people like enjoy their job. And that's a big end goal for me, is being able to have like employees that work for RD Media and are like and provide really cool, benefits and like good pay and like a good place of work. That's like my end goal in this. And so I, obviously this is a very small little piece of that, but that's really where it came down, was how can I find a way to make other people like enjoy what they're doing, make a little bit of bread? How can I increase my revenue stream? And how can I provide basically a blank canvas for future sponsors, for advertising? And
That's the first thing that when you said that, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, he could put all the sponsorships on the track.
dude, you could just do like, I mean, it's quite literally like limitless. I could do like a Panic Rev X RD track, and where they put together, we do a sponsorship package where they put together some of the funds for the track, and then it's just all Panic Rev driven. They can design track like it's like a blank canvas billboard for sponsors. And and I worked the deals. I worked with King, and then Kells is actually going to do my Supercross tracks,
Nice.
which is going to be awesome. I was really excited to, kind of just ask them, like, what would it take for me to, buy tracks off of you and own the rights, and kind of just let them set the price. And there was very little negotiating that went on, which is really cool. Like, it makes me feel like, they're feeling valued. They got what they wanted. They're excited about it. I know Kells is really excited to crank Supercross out.
That's
And
sick.
for King, like, this was really cool, because King definitely doubts his ability in track making, because he compares himself to like JV and all these guys, which
Can't do that.
I'm sure like all the track creators do, like
Yeah.
when you have JV in the space, it's probably hard not to. But like, I really do believe this track is going to do like extraordinarily well, and I'm really excited to see that for King. Like, I think it'll, really help King realize that, while maybe his tracks don't look like San Bernardino '07, I've spent infinitely more laps on King tracks than I have on JV tracks,
Yeah. No, I feel
and
you.
and I don't know. I just think it was just a cool opportunity to kind of help other people out and provide a source of revenue for them, provide another source of revenue for me. And that source of revenue can lead towards, I'm already looking at like Christmas giveaways, as far as like trying to really up my game there and just like really try and give back while also still helping provide for my family and
Yeah.
expand my brand. And I don't know, it just seemed like a good next step for me.
Okay, so you're saying
That
that
was a
you
lot.
no, you're chilling. I mean, that's a great explanation, because I have further questions. So
Yeah, go ahead.
first, how do we get an Exhibit RD Ranch?
All right.
We'll be in
All right,
talks.
well,
We'll be in
yeah,
talks.
we could talk about that. Yeah,
But no. Next is, so you're saying that you bought the rights. So this is more of like, I'm thinking financial right now off the top of my head, but like, so it's you putting it up on the shop, not necessarily King putting it up on the shop.
correct. Yes.
Okay.
I pay them up front, and then I also, which some people would frown on me, like I guess sharing my business details, but whatever. I paid them up front, and then there's a little bit of a royalty that they get.
Honestly,
On
before you say anything, I don't think it's bad at all. I think people should know this.
Yeah.
Like, personally speaking, like, because I work a corporate job and everything
Sure.
is like, oh, you got to hush on money. I think everybody should know what makes what, because then I was like, okay, you're going to perform better if you know that I make more than
Right.
you, or I make the same amount, so
Sure.
for that purpose, I don't think it's a bad thing. Okay, keep going.
I'm always totally open. Like, I don't really care about like sharing my financial stuff, like I've been very open through the years with where I'm at. And I mean, like, I'll keep numbers, quiet for them, King
Yeah.
and Kells. But yeah, it's a hefty amount up front. Like, I when I see people are like, hey, will you make me a track for $50? It's like, no.
Yeah.
No, not even close, brother.
Yeah.
So it's a good amount up front, and then they get a royalty on it. That way, if I really was trying to avoid, like, here's your cash up front, and then the track pop off, and then them feeling like that fear of missing out of like, crap, like, if I would have posted it, like,
Yeah.
it could have popped off for me, and
I think
that's where
that's
the royalty thing.
Yeah, I think that's hard for, like, say, editors too, so like, for
Yes.
example, like, you're a higher up, have millions of subs, and like, you become an editor. It's like, okay, I'm editing this video, I'm only getting $500 for editing this video, but it's gonna make 250,000 with ads, so it's like,
Right.
it's almost like, okay, first couple ones, I'm gonna give you guys royalties. Next ones, I want to be like 50, 70, 30 split. You know what I'm saying? Something like that,
Sure.
per se. But no, like, I think it's cool to see them willing to do what you're doing right now. Like, do like the up front first, and then I'm gonna assume later on, when everything starts popping off, they're gonna be like, all right, let's change up this contract a little bit, and now it's gonna be like a negotiation. It's like, which I think is good, honestly, like negotiation and like business and stuff like that, helping people out, like what you mentioned. I mean, it's only going to help further what people want to do. It's like, okay, like JV, for example, like, he got into a negotiation contract with MXGP, and now he's making all the MXGP stuff. And like, I heard a rumor that that's what he does. He doesn't do like his other job per se right now, but like,
Oh yeah. No.
you know what I mean? So it's like a whole different avenue of income for other people, which I think is going to be good.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like, I think, like I said, like, I really have a heart for like business, and I love it, and I love, I was just I don't know, my whole life I had never really worked at a place that I was like completely satisfied with, and I know that I probably never would have, but like, it always was just like, I really want to try to provide that for people, like a place where like they can be excited, they can be, proud of what they're doing, and they don't feel like they're being taken advantage of,
Yeah.
while still putting out a product that obviously requires a lot of work or whatever it is. Like, I really just want to provide a place where people can feel valued, and I think this is a very small step towards that, and a much bigger plan and what, I'm trying to do. But Yeah, so King's gonna focus on outdoor tracks and really not change very much. I told King basically just like, dude, you just do you, man. Like we're really just trying to focus on basically what Artie Ranch is, where it's gonna appeal to the masses
I think that's the play.
on the outdoor tracks, because I feel like a lot of these paid tracks kind of miss that, where they really focus on realism and really difficult and like the and I just like obviously that's fine.
The casual player likes it easier than normal.
Correct.
So
You know, like that sand track from that Hell Machine just put out, like that track's amazing. It's an absolute work of art. Unfortunately, it probably won't be played that much because it's too hard.
no,
You
I
know,
feel you. I get you.
and that has nothing to do with their ability level, and I'm sure it's still selling well too, but like I really just like, all right, well, let's just make like really high quality, fun, mass appeal tracks.
Are
And then what?
are you going to potentially put out any for free?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
I already have some interesting, some like, I really wanted to make a supercross track that's just all whoops. Like, and so I'll probably have Kels make that, you know, and like, and again, like people always give like people crap about selling products, but the reality is like, you know, the more money that's going, you know, into somebody's pocket, the more that they're able to give back. I mean, obviously some people don't, but if they're willing to do that, like the more revenue streams you have going towards a source that is willing to do things for the community, like the better.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited that like this is going to create opportunity for like, I mean, I'm thinking like let's give away some PCs, you know, at the end of the
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Let's do some cool stuff, you know, that's like over the top. And but I don't know, that'll
I
cross that bridge when we get there.
even for like free tracks, I mean, you can get sponsorships for the free tracks, and it's like, even though it's free to the masses, the sponsors are having to do something for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so like, it's not
Yeah.
necessarily free, but it is free for like the public. You know what I mean? So, I think it
Yeah.
works out pretty good.
And the track sales too, like I feel like it really will help me with sponsorships moving forward, as like I'll have like hard analytics of stuff I can like sales I can push, you know, and that's
Yeah.
why I wanted to do it under my name, was then I can use that as like hard, look, I sold X amount of tracks in this amount of time, month after month after month, and to a sponsor, that's just like that's just music to their ears.
Yeah, it's free advertisement.
You know?
It's like, okay, like,
Yeah.
like if you go around a track on bikes, it's like, oh, I know those. Oh, Blitzco, I know
Yeah.
that. Like, oh, Kells, oh, I know Kells. Like,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna say Panic Rev. You're like, oh, Panic Rev. Let me look that up. Okay.
Yeah.
And you talk about it constantly. It's like, oh, I know this Panic Rev. Oh, okay, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's gonna be great for advertisement per se.
Yeah. And then Kel's I don't know if you want to say my I guess request to him was, dude, let's just make crazy different supercross tracks. Like not cookie cutter stuff. Let's make the environments different. Let's make the layouts different. You know, like let's just kind of do wild stuff and like fun. Like obviously it's got to be fun. Like that's one thing I feel like as much as I like the RD supercross track, if you weren't fast, that track is not fun.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I feel you.
you know, like, and I really like, again, kind of just meeting that more accessible to the masses, but still trying to appeal to the hot lap kids that will sit there and grind for a world record at the same time, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I just played a Kells Work in Progress one a couple days ago, and it's definitely unique. So I feel what you guys are going to be cooking up is going to be insane. So
Is it the Soupy track?
it's a soupy track.
Yeah, I think
it's like,
that's
it was like, it was like a compound.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it was something a little bit different. But it was crazy. Very long. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That one.
It was
yeah.
very long, but
That's right. Yeah,
but
I've seen pictures of that one.
it was freaking sick. But I'm excited for that information. I mean, like, knowing that you're gonna have paid ones and free ones, I feel like a couple other track creators do that same thing, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna do a paid one now, I'm gonna do a free one. So it's awesome to see that
Yeah.
I don't know the right word for it, but that's gonna be in the play as well. So
Yeah.
but hey, new track, it's out. You guys better be downloading this. right now. If you guys haven't already, literally go to it right now. Literally.
Pretty fun.
I'm assuming by the time this video's out, there's going to be 10 lobbies with it already up. So, so there's going to be 10 lobbies. I know when this video gets posted, we'll be, I don't know if we'll be live at that moment, but we'll be playing it on Saturday during a live stream. Okay. So definitely, I said this in my video too that's coming out, like, you're going to see a lot of videos, a lot of content on this, especially different racing videos. Because, like I was saying, for this track in particular, it's good for 450s. It's probably really good for 250s. I didn't ride on 250, but it's going to be good for 250s. Yeah. I think it could potentially be a 125 track. Like, you know what I mean? I think so too. Yeah. I think it could be a good Stark track, like just something random. So I think in the general essence, I think it's going to be a great track for content purposes. I even, like, in my brain that I'm thinking about the track right now, the layout and stuff, I'm thinking already like TikTok content too on there too. Yeah, so it's like it's so much going on that I think it's going to be super, super sick to see what comes out of it. And I assume similar to what Countryside is now. I mean, like, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a lobby on like 40 people on it yesterday. So yeah, like I feel like it's going to be a popular track for a long, long time, and one of those classics where it's like, all right, let's go back to RD Ranch for a stream. You know, just have fun with it. So I'm excited to get lobbies onto it. I'm assuming later today there's going to be someone streaming it. So I'll be in there making content. I'll be in there making content. But yeah, I'm super, super excited for this. It's going to be legendary. It's going to be super, super legendary. So thanks, man. Of course. But yeah, if you guys enjoy this podcast, make sure you guys hit the like button. Okay. We're trying to do this once a month. We're a little bit behind this month. Okay. Don't judge us, but we'll do this once a month. Next month, probably talking about GPs, because preseason out, a couple rounds out, a little bit more Supercross stuff as well. And hopefully we don't get any DDoS attacks. Hopefully we don't get that, because yeah, we want to not have that for the community, because it sucks. But yeah, if you guys been enjoying these podcasts, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys go check out Doc's channel. I'll have his channel and everything in the description below. Make sure you guys go download his brand new track, RD Ranch. It's on the MX Bike shop. I'll have the link in that description as well. And yeah, just these podcasts are a lot of fun. We talk about a lot. Yeah. So I honestly feel like this is going to be something good for the future, especially with everything coming out. So I'm super, super excited to continue this. And hopefully maybe one day we do this on stream, you know, just a little podcast on stream, you know, just like one time, see how it goes and see what happens. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for the love on all of our content, Doc's content as well, man. He's going crazy. He's almost at 20K. You might have hit that already. I wish I hit it today. Yeah, like that's crazy. So make sure you guys go support him. Thank you guys so much for the love on all of our videos, all of our shorts, all our TikToks, Instagram Reels too. So we appreciate that for real. Thank you guys so much. And we will be back probably within a month, probably next month, for another podcast, Bikes podcast with Reaper and Exhiibit. Someone create us a logo. All right. So we're out. Peace.
All right. See ya.